notably Ireland, some of the, traditional tax havens have been some of the holdouts here. What do you think ultimately gets them on board, especially as you hear from Secretary Yellen? She is optimistic that they will reach some sort of an agreement.
Well, I think it's pretty incredible that they did get something like 130 countries on board. This is honestly, this is another one of these things I wasn't sure I'd ever witness in my lifetime. Yes, there are a few holdouts, and I think probably the main one is Ireland, which has they have a thriving economy right now. A lot of it has relied on their very low corporate tax rates. But I think they will probably be brought around for two reasons. First of all, they're in the EU. The EU has a lot of ways of pressuring them to go along with this. And secondly, and I think this is something not so many people have focused on, the rate they're talking about at 15% is pretty low. It is going to eradicate those advantages that the havens have over other countries, but they can still keep it. Let's say Ireland moves to 15%. That is still substantially lower than the EU as a whole or the United States.
It's certainly low, although there are tech companies, especially unprofitable ones, who 15% tax rate would seem pretty high at this point in time. Secretary Yellen saying in the interview with Sarah Eisen on CNBC yesterday that she's actually not sure if Amazon would be subjected to this global tax deal. Do you think that it goes far enough to kind of cover those types of issues that have become ever present in, this current climate?
Well, in theory, it does. I mean, I think it is trying to close the kinds of loopholes that Amazon has used, and the ability of companies to shift profits to these low-tax foreign jurisdictions. So I think if it really does go through, it is going to affect some of these companies. And yes, it's a handful of these tech companies which, are very adept at the ability to move these profits into different jurisdictions who will take something of a hit here. But again, I think if the rate we're talking about is 15%, that is not crippling to anyone. And by the way, I'm all for the tech companies paying 15%. I mean, you can make the argument for even lower rates, but 15% is pretty low. Another, I think, interesting to mention here is it seems to me it's going to put a cap on how high the U.S. can take its corporate tax rate. The Biden administration is proposing a substantial increase in corporate taxes. But you start getting up above the current 21% to like 30, 35, the same level as, ordinary income, you're really going to be creating some incentives for companies to move offshore. And I doubt that that's what the U.S. really wants to do.
Right, Jim. Yeah, so creates a global floor, but maybe domestically a little bit of a de facto ceiling on where those rates can go. And it's interesting how the proposed corporate tax bump that the Biden administration has been putting out there, how it even fits into the infrastructure plan, this multi-year, extra fiscal package that's now being kicked around in an age where in the last year nothing had to be paid for and awful things didn't happen. You just wonder how this debate is going to go on this revenue piece of this proposed spending package.
Well, I'm hearing certainly from many corporate leaders, including Biden supporters, they're giving the corporate tax increase ideas a pretty cool reception. There's always been the argument that when you raise corporate taxes like this, it seems like it's easy. Oh, make the corporations pay. But, corporations don't pay. Someone pays that tax. That is a tax increase. It's going to be a tax increase on workers at these companies. It's a tax increase certainly on shareholders. And there's always been this argument you're taxing them twice. You're already taxing their dividends, their income from the companies. Now you turn around and tax the income as well. So there's a pretty, sophisticated base of opposition to raising these corporate rates. And, a lot of people have had, even Democrats I know, have had to grudgingly concede that the Trump corporate tax rate has been pretty good at stimulating capital investment and stimulating the economy during this very difficult time. So my sense right now is there's not a huge political groundswell for raising the corporate taxes, which means where are you going to move? Well, there are plenty of other areas in the tax code where you can you can raise money. And I've been making this argument for a long time, but there are like incredible loopholes that could be closed. And the Biden administration has talked about doing some of those. And then if you really want to go after, people who are making a lot of money in the stock market, raising the individual capital gains rate could raise a lot of revenue.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.